Whoops. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live hosted by me, Mr. Philly. Um, how magical, yes. So today, I wanted to tell you, I tried this, I've done this a couple of times, but I really didn't like how the quality of the video came out. Well, before we get started, though, I really wanted to share with you, now I got a pole stick and LED lamp, so it's really nice that now I can actually stand back a little bit and show a little bit more my surroundings and my settings, so I really like it. It was really junky. I got it at Five Below, 15 bucks. Man, I cut myself actually earlier on putting it together. So man, there were some sharp edges on this thing. But we'll see how long this lasts. Now we actually have better quality of camera. Now I actually can cook with this and I don't have to hold the camera all the time. So yeah, it's been a while. I mean, this one goes up to 5 feet. So yeah, now I'll be able to, put my phone on my LED light and stick. So now it's going to be a little bit easier when I cook. So yeah. Anyway, so, all right. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing well? All right. Nice to see you, Jennifer. Mr. Philly, another Mr. Philly. Oh, copycat, how are you? You're the copycat. How are you? Anyway, so, oh, not much. Just chilling and, having a good night. And I hope everybody else is having a good night. And, gotta work tomorrow and then have the rest of the weekend off. And, got some good food planned for the weekend. We got some French dip roast beef sandwiches coming up for this weekend, and hopefully maybe this weekend or next weekend we might also make bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. So yeah, so we got a lot of great content coming up this weekend. So anyway, all right. So without further ado, let's begin. So as you all know, I was originally born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, back in 1989, and so I grew up in the northern part. I was actually 5 to 10 minutes away from, the Philadelphia Mills Mall. If you walk there, it would have probably been 20 minutes, but, with the driving distance, it would have been 10 or 15, 10 to 5 minutes. So pretty close. So that's North Philly. So anyway, let's see, what was I going? Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So anyway, yeah, I remember that we lived in a townhouse too, and I do remember the neighborhood actually, and I remember I went to first and second grade at I can't remember the school. I think we switched schools twice actually. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really do well. I first and second grade, honestly. The school I went to was in a really bad neighborhood, and the school district was really bad, and the kids were really misbehaved. I do remember going to this one school. I can't remember what it's called. I think it was called Fitzpatrick School, but I don't think it exists anymore. Or if it does change their name. But then we went to McDonald School, which I think is called a different school too, first, and then the second grade, that was that. But I think I got held back because I didn't really do, I think I failed second grade. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think I did. So anyway, that was all through between the years of 1990 to 2003, or yeah, 1990 to 1997. So or 1998, and through those years, I do remember growing up on that neighborhood too. We had a couple bunch of neighbors too, and we had the neighborhood kids that we played with. But a lot of the neighborhood kids actually weren't very kind to us. Actually, I remember there was a one neighbor that used to walk by us all the time and used to pretend that he was a cop and everything. And he says, "You guys are playing in the street too long. I'm gonna, have to arrest you for playing in the street and all that fun stuff or whatever." He was just a major league Karen actually. And I remember crying one night because I was a kid and everything. I just remember those stories. But I tell you, the more and more I look back on my childhood too, I remember the 90s nostalgia. I remember, I actually am more thankful than what I have now today. I grew up in a really fun decade. I do remember Toys R Us. I do remember, going to Kodak and getting your film developed. I do remember, going to McDonald's was magical. I do remember that they had the playgrounds were actually fun. It was an experience when we went out to eat. And when we went out to eat, it was like a real treat for us too. It was so much fun. So anyway, so that was that, and then trying to think of what else happened. Trying to think of any interesting things that did happen in those times. Oh yeah, and then my brother. So yeah, that was me, and then I had two brothers. I had six siblings altogether, or no, five siblings, one sister, and then four brothers. And then while we lived in this house down in Philadelphia, there was only three of us at the time, and three of us were born. My older brother and me, and then my younger one below me. So yeah, there was a lot of great memories. I do remember too, in our neighborhood, there was a neighborhood Santa Claus that came by and he dropped off a bunch of presents and everything too. It was actually really fun. That was actually, I can't remember. I don't know. That was 1994. Yeah, 1994. I remember that because The Lion King came out. And yeah, I grew up on all those classic shows. Pocahontas, Lion King, and all that such. Yeah, and I remember watching all the '90s cartoons that the '90s had to offer too. Tiny Toon Adventures, Street Sharks, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and all that. We weren't allowed to watch a lot of shows, but we still watch it because they all reruns came on Saturdays. So it was so much fun. So anyway, so my mom got tired of living in the city because we had a neighbor that was a major league Karen. Actually, I don't remember all the stories actually, but I was actually told, after I grew up, though he was an older guy who lived with his wife and he had no children, and she said, well, this is one of the reasons why we moved out of the city was because he came on our property multiple times apparently and vandalized our vehicles. So yeah, crazy, huh? So. And that did play a role. And then it was so ridiculous, in the middle of the night, my mom one time stayed up until like midnight to see all the people that would bring their dogs and their animals over there just to defecate on the property. So yeah, it was just really, I mean, that's one of the prices you guess you pay when living in the city sometimes. But anyway, it was just all those factors, had a problem with living in the city. And we live right next to, where the sewer was, because I remember smelling it, when the school bus came every morning too. And it smelled pretty bad actually. So yeah. And she said, "Yeah, you live in the city too, I mean, like, yeah, everywhere you go, you're gonna have bugs, but yeah, roach. We just started seeing. I mean, during the months of the summer, roaches were all the roach population got a lot bigger than it should have. But yeah, I don't know. I guess living right next to where the sewage right where it is, I don't know. But anyway, that might have played a role into it because I do remember smelling that all the time, every time the school bus came every morning. And I remember the neighbors too. We had one neighbor that I was really good friends with for a long time, but like I feel like a lot of the neighbors were real bullies to us actually. But we were like one of the me and my brothers, we really didn't know how to take somebody bullying us. We didn't know how to stand up for ourselves. We were the type of people when somebody called us names, we would go in our room and cry or whatever. So yeah, yeah. Well, I remember getting bullied a lot by the neighborhood kids. So it was crazy. It was an interesting time, but like I said, I do remember all the nostalgia. Going to Little Caesars every Friday, going to McDonald's all the time. All the things that the '90s had to offer. Going to Kmart. Oh man, it was just so much fun. But anyway, after that we moved, and by this time it was about 1997, 1998. My sister was born actually. Well, shoot, when my mom was pregnant with my sister. So we moved up to Scranton, Pennsylvania, actually, in 1998. My mom finally got so tired of the city, and I knew I was gonna miss it actually. But at the end, well, I didn't really. I mean, I didn't really pay attention as much as I did. But from what I do remember, I did like it. But yeah, it was a big change actually when we moved up there. So where was I? 1998. Yeah, I was about 8 years old at the time, and we moved up to Scranton. So Scranton, I will say. If people don't know, if you guys aren't familiar with it is up in northern Pennsylvania. It's actually the birthplace of the last president, Joe Biden. So, we didn't live in the city. We lived on the outskirts. That's where we moved to, just to get away from everything. And I will say I don't. I mean, I lived, and that was more. I remember being up there so much more actually. But it was just so much solitude. We didn't really have any neighbors, and all I grew up with was my siblings and everything. I was homeschooled most of the time I lived there. Well, the whole time I was there. So yeah, it was a beautiful scenery. I do appreciate the scenery more than I do now. But like growing up, all I really had, I was so sheltered actually. For 7 years, we lived up there, and yeah, it was interesting. But I mean, if I had to do it over, I wouldn't want to live like that ever again because like I literally had no. I mean, literally, the only entertainment that we had was watching TV on Sundays and Saturdays. We weren't a part of school. We didn't have really any friends. I had my siblings. We were, looking back on it, this is the part I feel like I missed out on. I really wish I was a part of, um, I really wish I was a part of, I wish I could have had sleepovers with other kids my age. I really wish I was a part of a chess club or a Boy Scouts or anything. But yeah, this the whole 7 years I didn't get a part of that. So yeah, I mean, I had my siblings, but that was about it. And yeah, but like I say, now I appreciate it more often than not because, TV back in the day for a kid back in the '90s was still fun actually, but this was still back in 1998, so it was still a fun time actually. The Wonderful World of Disney, so cool. And then Saturday morning cartoons, oh yeah, they were a trip, I'll tell you. So yeah, I did get to see some of the best shows. I think that was the only part of the childhood that I really had, actually. I felt like that was pretty much all I had. And I feel like, the other thing was too, like, on the weekends when we were mom, she was when she would homeschool us, we had so much homework that was impossible to finish during the day. And a lot of times on the weekends, we would have to work. My dad would make us work in the yard and everything. So I felt like I really could never be a kid up there. So that's pretty much why. I mean, it was that's why I really don't have the best memories of being up there. So anyway, so yeah, that's that. Anyway, so skipping ahead till almost 2001, 2002, let's see, from 1998 we lived there till 2003. So actually those, yeah, and we had a regular church that we went to from the time, and we got to know the pastor really, really well. We got to know people there pretty well, but I mean, nobody, and we got really close to the pastor. I mean, once or a couple of times a year we would go to their house for have a barbecue. And then once a year, we would visit Philadelphia all the time actually to go see my grandmother. That was like, we would look forward to those Sundays. And then we would still vacation in Wildwood, New Jersey. We did that almost once a year. So that was pretty much the highlight of the year. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Pretty much my whole childhood was just doing a lot of Bible study, a lot of homework. And between the time we lived up in Scranton, before we moved, was Bible study, a lot of homework, and a lot of yard work, basically. Not the most funnest for a kid, between the ages of 8 and 13. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I think this is a good start of our origin story. So I'm gonna cut you guys off like right there. I feel like I'm cutting you guys off too much. All right, guys. Any questions, concerns, comments, or anything you want to share, or what? Sorry to hog up the spotlight for so long. I always really wanted to have this LED stick because just because what do you call it? It's just nice to have your surroundings being shown a little bit more, and I think you don't have to hold the camera or whatever, because usually when I'm cooking I was always holding it because I never had one of these, and this is probably not gonna last. This is probably gonna break several times, but it's just junk. But we'll see. I really appreciate that I can finally sit down with my hands free and everything, and not have that LED light. I'm always holding it up. I have another LED light, but it's not on a stick, basically. This one goes up 5 feet high. So, yeah, it's going to be really nice when I cook this weekend to use this. So, yeah, I can have my hands free. Anyway, all right, guys, what's up? Any questions, concerns, comments, or anything, or what? Love to hear about it. How's everybody else's day? I'm sorry to ramble on, but I really, really wanted to get that out, actually. I think it'd be really cool. You guys, sure some of you guys would be interested to hear the origin story of Mr. Philly. So, yeah, I'm going to cut it up in parts, though. So, yeah, I think we're going to do 2 or 3 parts, 3 or 4 parts. So we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I think we left off a good spot. That's pretty good. So, yeah, I think I think that was good. All right, and I think of anything else, I'll do it in the next session. So, yeah. All right, guys, the floor is your guys'. Anybody want to share anything from their childhood that they remember really well, or something like that, or what? Anyway, I'm sorry to ramble on, but I try to do this multiple times, but I never really like the quality of the video, so I think this one is good. So anyway, well, thank you for that, Mr. Philly. I think you're being a copycat, but okay. But you're nice, so I'm gonna let you go. Oh boy. It's all good. Anybody want to share anything? I'd love to hear about it. I'm done with this part of the origin story. I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 more parts, so we'll see. Anyway, love to hear about your guys' day. Love to hear about anything that you guys want to share about your origins or background. That'd be cool to talk about. I'd love to hear about it. So anyway, take it away. The floor is your guys's. I hope everybody likes this setup, now that I have an LED light and stick. So yeah, that goes up 5 feet high. It's going to be really nice when it cooks. So anyway, and I really like, I think I just like the aspect of sitting down and, talking in front of a LED stick camera / camera, because it just looks cool. I mean, it kind of just looks like you're filming, it kind of feels like I'm being an actor. I know this sounds really weird, but anyway. Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. I didn't know. Oh, okay. Really? I don't know. People say that, but all right. I'll take your word for it. You got no reason to lie to me. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's the internet. Everybody has so many reasons to lie to you. It's just to rage bait you. But I don't know. Well, you've been on my channel. You've been polite. So, yeah. I know. I'm trying. Being like Mr. Beast, start from the bottom, work your way to the top. I have another LED light. I'll show it to you right here. I mean, and this is the same concept as that one that's holding this one up, but the sticks always break and you buy them from Walmart. They just don't last. But you know what? I guess I'm going to buy another one. All right. Somebody just said, make a wooden one and put this on top of that. So yeah, but this one that's there is holding the same concept. And I only use this when I'm sitting down. I can only use it when I'm sitting down on my desk or whatever. But I mean, it works still, but this one goes to like 5 feet high and it's a stick and you can carry it. But this one's junk too, though. When you only pay $15 for this stuff, that's it. I mean, you could still pay 20 or 30 or $50 for this kind of stuff and it could still break. I feel like they're still chintzy, though, some of them. I've seen some in catalogs on Amazon, I mean, like the nicer ones, And if they break, you'd have to buy another one. I don't know. I guess I'd rather pay $15 and then take it back. And then change it for another one. If you take it back within 7 days, I don't know, a Five Below will do this. This one's actually from Five Below. I think if you, I know Walmart will only do it. No matter what condition it's in, if you take it back within the 7 to 14 day period, they will still return it. So yeah. And that's usually what I do, and then just buy another one. This is kind of ridiculous. If something can't last for 14 days, I mean, like, bad quality, I don't know. And the next thing I need to get is a microphone, though. I need to look into that. Thank you for guys for reminding me. Yeah, moving up in the tech world. Of course, tech savvy. I don't know. I'm glad, so the image looks better. I mean, I was so disappointed because I made a recipe 2 weeks ago and nobody could hear me. And the content came out really, really blurry. And I was really mad because the recipe came out really good. So, yeah, but oh well, I got the gist of it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna just delete that video because it's just so blurry. I don't know why nobody could hear me. I was just having so many tech problems. Anyway, this just seems really cool when you have something on a stick lying up like that, I had a better one of these, but I can't remember who did. No, my brother took it because he was doing it for his channel. But you know what? I could have been a jerk and took it back, but you know what? I'm not gonna fight anyway. I mean, oh well. Well, I mean, he did me a favor, so I mean, like, I was like, you know what? I still want my thing back, but anyway, and it took my whole extension cord too. But anyway, I know I had a better one of these at one time, but yeah, I promise. Anyway, well, at least the picture looks good, and that's all that matters right now. So anyway. Northeast Philly, wow. Wow. How long have you had your channel, though, Philly? Mr. Philly? Oh, so that's why you call yourself that, for the origin. My brother tells me I should change my name because what I do doesn't really coagulate with what I do. I think it does. I think Philadelphia is what I was born and bred. Like I just said in my origin story, I was only there for 8 years old when I was 8 years old. But a lot of people I tell that to, I was like, wow, that doesn't mean you're from Philly. I was like, well, I lived there till I was like 8 years old. So, I mean, I would say I'm from there. I was bred there. Yeah. I mean, I remember a little bit, not that much, but I mean, we did visit there all the time. So I think it does have an influence on me. I was definitely born there. So, and, I think it does have an influence on my accent too, a little bit. Because I love my seltzer water and coffee, and I miss Wawa, and I always get a hoagie when I go down there. And then when I make a wish, I throw it in the Schuylkill River. I don't know how they say that. Watch Cold Case. They'll tell you how they say that, Schuylkill River. Costs many waters to get over there. Washington crossed many waters over there. But, well, it's surprising though, yeah. Now, how long you been on here? Are you new or what? Have you been on here for a year? I've been on here for about 2 years though, so yeah, that's why I was curious. I'm more of a Steelers fan myself. You know, I will watch the Eagles, but you know, I never was into a team that didn't win that often. But anyway, I mean, definitely. Definitely. I mean, if they're on, you know, and like when it comes to NFL, like, you know, if my teams ain't playing, I don't really care that much. The teams that I like haven't been to the Super Bowl in a long time, but you know, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I'll definitely watch it if somebody invites me to a Super Bowl game. But yeah, if nobody invites me, like if I watch the Super Bowl, it's just for the commercials or the halftime show. Now I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the halftime show last year and the commercials weren't even that great. So yeah, but yeah, if it's a good game, it's a good game. But yeah, like I say, if my teams ain't playing, I don't really care that much. You know, when my teams are out of the playoffs, that's when I stop watching all the teams that I like to watch. That's about it. Definitely always down to see an Eagles game though. Anyway, Northeast Philly. Wow. Does anybody else have anything to share? That's really fun origin though. Hello, Jin Marie. How are you? Oh, cool. Well, nice to meet you. You subscribe? I appreciate it. I have quite a few followers from Philippines, so yes, very nice to meet you. Anything you want to share, comment, or talk about? I'd love to hear about it. Jin, nice to meet you. Jin Marie, nice name. Thank you. Very nice to meet you. Oh, I thought I would see some more actually. So maybe I should actually do more long intros in my videos because, you know, I had 3 subscribers on and nobody interrupted me the whole time that I had an origin story. So thank you guys for actually listening, you know. And I think that's one of the reasons why I always actually try to do my origin story and, you know, it never really worked out because, you know, people would talk and have questions and, you know, I felt rude not answering them, followers that I really wanted to answer. So anyway. 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's 9 p.m. right here. Anyway, cool. Hmm. Hey, Dark Angel. I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? How you doing? Nice to see you. So nice for you to join us. How are you? What's new? How you been? I remember you. I don't remember everybody, but I do remember you. Sometimes people do have names. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I was just telling a little bit of my origin story, which I'm going to cut them into 3 parts. And I was saying that, like, I've tried to do this many times before, but like a lot of times, so many people comment that, you know, who are regular followers, and I really wanted to answer, so I always get interrupted and I forget to where I was at. So I'm going to put this in like 3 parts. So anyway, really, wow, I happened to me once. I think my brother was riding a quad and I jumped on and then I fell and then I hit my head. I don't remember waking up, but I remember like 10 minutes later, I was sitting down and everybody was talking about me hitting my head. I was like, did I hit my head? Because I really don't remember. Apparently, I woke up and I walked back to the house, you know, all dizzy and confused. So I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything's okay. You know, I hope it wasn't too serious or anything like that. Concussion? I think I had a mild. Yeah, so I guess you would consider that a mild concussion. Really, nurse. I was a CNA once, way back in the day. I remember that time. I will definitely get to that when I'm. Oh, it's probably gonna be something fun to talk about in my origin story. So yeah, when I go to part 2 or part 3, you know. Hmm. Oh my goodness. Oh my. So they hit you. Oh dear. You don't have any. You didn't have any injuries, did you? Besides the concussion, I hope. I hope they weren't drinking or anything. It's crazy. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you survived. And I'm glad there's nothing major damage going on. Good, good deal. Yeah, electric scooters. I tell you, I used to like those, and I really wanted a nice one so bad. But yeah, you really got to spend a lot of money on good ones. But you could really hurt yourself with those. You know, when first time I had one, when I drove it down the street, I went over a big pothole and I fell. Man, I scraped my arm really bad. You got to be really careful with those. You could really hurt yourself on those too. So yeah, crazy, huh? $500. That's still a lot, but I don't know. I feel like unless you're spending like 1,000, man. I mean, well, when they break, it's really hard to take them places. I had one for $300 and I couldn't find any place to take it. Maybe it's just the state alone, but yeah, I mean, like you can take it to a bike shop, but like they can do. I mean, if it's half bike, half electric, they can kind of fix the minor ends. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really hard to find. I don't know. Depends on the state, but the state I'm in, it's really hard to find an electric bike shop that'll actually work on it. So yeah. And remember I got mine to rent to own from a rent-a-center, and I wanted to get another one, but I mean, the guy, the clerk says we don't sell them anymore because nobody really fixes them. That's why. I mean, it's just a pain in the neck. You got to send it back to the manufacturer. It seems like. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, well, that's what happened in mine too. The frame was bent; it wasn't fixable. So yeah, $500. See, there you go. When it breaks, you're kind of screwed on them. Terrible, right? $500. Oh, that must have been a nice one. How fast did yours go? Oh, pretty cool. That's why I gave up. I invested in two of them and then I gave up after that. I mean, I would like one of the bikes, probably if I was to get one, it'd be $1,000 or whatever. But yeah, the one I want. But yeah, scooters, I don't know. Well, it's still kind of scary when you're going 30 miles an hour up a hill. But anyway, 45. That's cool. Wow. You don't have insurance on it or anything? Wow. Yeah, if I was to get one now, I'd probably, especially how expensive it would be, I would probably get insurance on it too, at least. I don't know. Maybe they would. Yeah, actually, the second one I did get replaced actually because I did have a warranty on it, but like, then it got stolen. That's what happened. That's what happened. But I don't know. I think, this is my second one I had, which was the same one as the first one. But no, I think the second one, I drove it around for several weeks straight, but man, I think it was just dying out. Like, I think it was in need of a new battery at some point. I was just so mad. No? Are you sure? Get anything insured. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know. I could be wrong, but that you can put insurance on anything. I'm pretty sure. I think there was an actress that got her legs insured for like $1 million, so I don't know. Well, you could if you wanted to. If it has value to it, yeah, sure. If you're paying into it, why not? So I got a legs insurance. Hello, how are you? Well, if it's a specific rock, I don't know. uh, I don't know what you mean by I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. You should. Oh, not too bad. I'm good. How are you? All right, give me a moment, guys. Be right with you. Emotional issues and trust issues. Well, hey, trauma. Hey, join the club. You know, and that's probably going to be another part of my origin story. I'll tell you about my accident that I had. Uh, well, trauma. Well, I'm sure. Oh, I've suffered trauma and emotional problems in my life for sure, but trust, I don't know. I mean, I guess definitely, yeah. Trust is issues can be a problem too, but I don't know. I think I'm hit or miss. I used to trust too many people. Now I don't trust anybody. Well, but sometimes I do. I feel like depending on my stance, I don't know. I don't know. My God, I'm sorry to hear that. Shit. Well, yeah. People tell me about tough households and they had hard lives in their life. It's tough out there. My goodness. I guess say that I'm thankful every day for actually having parents that actually did care about me. I mean, there's a lot of things that I didn't get to see in my childhood. My childhood wasn't the best. I mean, not it wasn't bad in any way, shape, or form. I just feel like it was absent in the sense. I just didn't get to enjoy a lot of things that other kids did. But I mean, at least I had a roof over my head. I had to have 3 meals a day, and I did have a parents that loved me, and they said goodnight to me every night and took me to church, and did give me somewhat of an education, and they taught me how to work. One thing I will say, they taught me how to work. So yeah, I am very glad, and because I remember when I did get a job. I was it was hard for me. I didn't really have the best social skills because I didn't grow up going to school for very much in my life. I learned pretty hard though, and I learned the hard way about social skills and everything. But when I did get certain jobs out there, it was really tough when I worked with a lot of Gen Z high school kids and everything. They said their parents don't care and everything, so all they do is play video games, and they never held a job in their life. So yeah. I guess I say to myself, I'm thankful that my mom and dad taught me how to work. I mean, it's like, I really wish, like basically when I was in trouble or whatever, my parents would tell me to go change the oil in the car or whatever, and I hated those jobs when I was a kid. But I'm glad they actually taught me to do that because now I learned something. Or go wash the dishes, or I mean, or it's still a basic skill, or go mop the floor or something. At least they taught me how to work. I got a lot of my punishments for work. So yeah, that's why I learned how to work. So I'm really glad that I have that work ethic in me. My parents did punish me with a lot of work ethics, so that's what I liked. That's one good thing. One good thing. One good thing that I'm proud of. Hmm. Yeah, doesn't that suck? I usually when that happens, like I start. Doesn't it taste like burnt popcorn or whatever? Sucks. This one's been pretty good. This one is a different one that I normally get. This is strawberry banana, but it's actually been pretty good. I usually get blue raz because all the other flavors and they start tasting sour after a week. So this has been going for good for like 8 days. So yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed. So yeah, flex freeze. I might stick with this one. Oh wait, no, white peach raspberry. I'm sorry, totally different flavor than I would normally get. Strawberry watermelon's good too, but that goes sour really quick. That's why I don't normally get it. But yeah, that's not bad. Blue raz. Blue raz is the best flavor, hands down. I will tell you. I believe, my opinion, just my opinion. So anyway, no, I'm not Orthodox. I am Catholic, actually. Oh, are you asking because of the crucifix in the back? Yes, Catholic. Sorry, I didn't see your question there. Anyway. I'm a little surprised, usually I would have like, well, I don't think I've had more than 10 at a time today, but yeah, it's all good. I usually just get like whatever's cheap on sale, $10 vapes. I don't really like now that, I'm so glad vapes exist because I was so happy to quit smoking cigarettes. I mean, I still smoke cigarettes, you know, um, when I'm drinking a lot or whatever, or when I'm at parties, but like I'm so happy. Vaping is so much of a cheaper habit, especially if you get the on sale out of stock vapes for $10 and that'll last you a week. It's better than spending $10 a day on cigarettes. I was so glad. It was like a light in the sky, but anyway, I probably should quit in general, but it is what it is. I would never be able to afford to smoke today. Well, I guess I would, but it'd be a quarter of my paycheck. Hmm. Very expensive habit. Hmm. I can't really handle a cigarette anymore. I used to, but like now if I smoke too many cigarettes, then I start feeling sick actually. It's just too harsh now. I'm just not used to the chemicals anymore. My brother said he was smoking longer than me. He smoked for way less time than I did, and he still craves a cigarette. He actually prefers cigarettes over vaping. I would prefer vaping over cigarettes. I guess for me, it's more the nicotine. And a lot of people say you should just switch to snus. I just can't do the snus though, man. It's just not for me. I don't know. Having something in my mouth, it's just kind of annoying. I guess I don't know. The one that I did like, but I forget what it was. Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, I smoke a couple of cigarettes, I'll get dizzy too. So yeah, or I just start feeling nauseous. Yeah, very dizzy. Tells you right there. There's way more chemicals in cigarettes than there are. Well, there's way more chemicals in cigarettes than vapes, I believe. That's just the argument that I'm making. I could be wrong, but anyway, you know. Hmm. Well, guys, this is a really fun live. I appreciate all the likes and subscribes, and thank you very much for joining. I think we're at 41 minutes, so we've got a little bit of good time in here, but I am going to get going. I got to go charge my vape, like you were just saying, so speaking of vapes, and I got to start cleaning up and do the rest of my laundry. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. Stick around for part two. We got a lot of great content coming up, and stick around for this weekend. Hope you guys see you for when I make my roast beef sandwiches or my jalapeno poppers. So, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and follow. And as always, happy cooking.